I am standing in one of the two major artifact rooms of the Garrett County Museum of History. This is called the B&O Room and the Garrett Room in honor of John W. Garrett. This room has some of the most valuable artifacts that are here in the museum in it, and it's rather prominent. We keep it lighted at night and people can walk by and look in here. The bust in the alcove is of John W. Garrett, done by a very famous sculptor in Baltimore after the Civil War. It was in the family home of John Garrett called Evergreen in Baltimore. Evergreen's now part of Johns Hopkins, I think. Anyhow, this bust is extremely rare. Frederick Volk, who did it, also did Abraham Lincoln. He did Jefferson Davis. He did Stonewall Jackson, who was in effect John Garrett's arch enemy because he kept raiding the B&O Railroad and driving John Garrett up the wall. The man above is a son of John W. Garrett, who was to be the manager of the Deer Park Hotel, and that painting came from the Deer Park Hotel, but he drowned in the Chesapeake Bay before he ever got here to take over his assignment. Here is a wonderful lithograph of John W. Garrett, which was found in an attic by Reverend Chip Lee out in Mountain Lake Park. It really is a wonderful portrayal of John Garrett. Over here, this is John Garrett's cottage at Deer Park, and he died there in 1884. So we named the county for him. He brought the two fantastic hotels here. He brought the B&O through in the 1850s. He kept order here, so our bridge only got burned once during the Civil War to prevent troops on the B&O. He was an amazing man, and the picture below his bust is his daughter Mary Elizabeth, who's very famous, and he used to say she had more intelligence than all his sons put together. So she was apparently a favorite. I also want to point out the eagle. This is the original eagle from the 1907 courthouse. And when it was removed 20-some years ago for courthouse renovation, it was full of bullet holes. Apparently, local kids made target practice. Sheffiel's Allegheny Welding totally restored it. It's a beautiful item now, but you should have seen it when we got it. We have only had two courthouses. This is the first Garrett County courthouse from 1872 to about 1908. It later became a school and was torn down, so it no longer exists at all. We're looking at the Little Maryland, which is one of the rarest artifacts in this museum. This was built in Westernport in the 1890s by Stephen Paganhart, who was 16 years old when he started it. He was a fantastic machinist. All the parts were made by him. It works. You can put wood in the firebox and water in the boiler. We have no track, but there are photos known, some up here that we have, showing it actually running. It won a blue ribbon at the 1893 World's Fair in Chicago, and it was donated to us by the Paganhart family while Monty Paganhart, his grandson or great-grandson, was the county administrator. There are pictures of him with his train. There are pictures and stories of the train. In this glass case, you can even see where he made lanterns and shovels. Everything in that case he made. And the Little Maryland is, I think, a very famous artifact. The case below it may be the only thing left from the first Garrett County courthouse of the 1870s. It is cast iron. I guess at one point it was like a safe. It has East Lake design, so we're pretty sure 1870s, 80s. I'm standing in front of a replica of Oakland's 1884 station. This was created for Dr. Layton, and Dr. Layton then donated it to us. It was built by local veteran Mel Savage, and there was a lot of Mel Savage's work of trains over in the other museum. Our station is famous. This is a book called Great American Railroad Station, and guess who's on the cover? Now, the train station is not owned by the Historical Society. It is a museum owned by the town of Oakland and run by the town of Oakland. This train we set up to entertain youngsters who come in here. They love the room with all the trains and lanterns and everything like that. So we've got it designed so they can even run the train. These 4 display cases have quite a collection of B&O artifacts, many dining car items, many locks, many pamphlets. There is quite a variety of B&O artifact in this room. The chair between the cases is original furniture from the 1907 Garrett County Courthouse. We have several pieces. Over here, we recreated the Hitchcock Tunnel, which is between Swanton and Bloomington on the 17-mile grade, so that children could watch the train go through the tunnel. I should mention that related to B&O, we have a bottle box and probably a dozen bottles from the Deer Park Hotel, or the Deer Park Boiling Springs. Water from Deer Park, the Boiling Springs, was used on all the dining cars of the B&O in the heavy tourist area. And the name Deer Park Water is still on your plastic water bottles, but I understand very little of that water comes from Deer Park. Now it's from everywhere. But this was quite a concern, and as the train came through, it would pick up the loaded bottles, and then coming back from like Cincinnati or wherever, would return the empty cases. So we're glad to have that. There are other interesting paintings and lanterns and everything in here, most all railroad associated.